Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a what I eat in a day video. But before we jump into that, I just wanted to take a moment here to address everything that's going on in our country and really the world right now. I always aim to spread love and positivity in my life, but I recently have been learning that when it comes to racism, just spreading love and being positive and loving people is not quite enough. I'm learning that I need to speak up more and play a more active role in building a system that is anti-racist and breaking down a lot of the barriers that have really been troublesome for the Black community. This is a really hard topic to talk about because I am white and I have never dealt with the pain that Black people have when it comes to racism and when it comes to discrimination and just all of the ways the system can be set up to work against them. But I just want you all to know that I stand with you and I will fight for you, and I have really had my eyes open and I have been learning so many things that I can do in my life to play a more active role and to be an ally. I'm going to be posting down in the description box a bunch of different links that I would really encourage you guys to check out. Some organizations that I've personally donated to, as well as just a lot of resources that I have found super helpful so far, or maybe books or podcasts or you know, documentaries on my list that I plan on watching. Just a lot of things. This is just a small piece of what you can do to start educating yourself and diving in, but I just want you to let you guys know that I am here for it, and I will not stand for racism, and I want to be a part of the solution. So please check out all those links below if you want to start getting educated and figuring out what you can do personally alongside of me in this fight. As I said, this video is going to be a what I eat in a day. If you are new around here, welcome. My name is Becca. I'm a registered dietitian and I love sharing easy, healthy meal ideas with you guys. I am a busy mom. I have a sweet little daughter. She'll probably make some appearances in this video. But I know what it's like to, you know, not have a ton of time, but I also am super passionate about whole food and eating whole foods and real foods and eating intuitively in a way that, you know, respects your body and listens to your body and fuels your body, while also still being able to enjoy food and not being on any kind of particular or restrictive diet. If you want more information about intuitive eating, I have a whole playlist here on my channel that will kind of walk you through and you can learn all about it. But without further ado, let's get into the what I eat in a day. It's pretty casual. I just kind of take my camera around with me throughout the day and share with you guys what I'm eating and what I'm making. And I know you guys love these videos, so I'm always excited to share another one with you, but let's go. Good morning, you guys. Okay, so I'm about to get breakfast going. And of course, we're doing oatmeal because what else is new? But I've been making them a little bit different recently, and they're so good. Matt loves them, Hayden loves them, I love them. It's just a win. So first we've got oats. These are steel cut. I also really like old-fashioned oats as well. I do either one. So steel cut oats. And then I add like a splash of milk, about, I don't really measure, but probably like a tablespoon of butter. And then these are raisins and chia seeds, and then I do a little bit of cinnamon. I basically just cook it all in this like big Dutch oven, and they are so like creamy and hearty, and a little bit of sweetness with the raisins. So good. Okay, you guys, so this is what they look like when they're all cooked. They are so creamy, and between the milk and the butter and the chia seeds and, you know, little extra fiber in the raisins, fiber in the oats, so filling. This is so much more filling than like the oatmeal that I would typically make. I feel like it just keeps me satisfied for much longer, which is really nice. So, and it also just tastes really good. So we are gonna plate this up and hey you guys, okay, so it is getting close-ish to lunchtime and I am doing some cooking, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna make little like veggie rice like protein bowls. Hi baby, give me one sec. And I'm basically making like a bunch so that for the next few days I can eat that lunch and it's all prepped and ready, and I just have to do the work today and then we'll be good for the next few days. Okay, so in here I've got just some brown rice in my, it's technically not an Instant Pot, but it's essentially the same thing. And for brown rice, I always do equal parts rice and water, and usually like a little drizzle of avocado oil. And then I cook it on high for 15 minutes. And I love cooking rice in this thing because A, it's much faster, and it always comes out perfect every time. Okay, and then over here I've got some Brussels sprouts that have just been cleaned, and I'm going to chop those up, season them with some avocado oil, salt and pepper, and I like to roast them at like 400 for, I think I'm gonna do like 30 minutes. And yeah. Okay, and then moving over to the stove top, I've got a few eggs that are boiling. How I do my boiled eggs, I actually don't do them fully hard boiled. I like them more like medium boiled. So I drop the eggs in while, like right when I put it on the stove. And then once it starts boiling, I let them go for about, I take the lid off, and then I let them go for about 7 minutes. And then plop them in cold water right away before I peel them. And they're usually pretty perfect, and that's like the consistency I like my yolks at. So hopefully they turn out okay, and then I'll show you guys what I mean. Okay, so everything is still cooking. None of that stuff is ready yet, but I just wanted to quickly show you. I did have coffee a little bit earlier and just made it real quick, drank it real quick. Wasn't even really thinking about it, and I did share it. So I go back and forth between hot coffee and iced coffee. I've been on kind of an iced coffee kick. This is the one that I buy, and this is my favorite. I love the flavor of it, and it's also just one ingredient, cold brew coffee. I have been toying with trying to make my own at home. I know it's so easy. It literally is so easy. But I haven't quite figured it out yet. I haven't figured out something that tastes as good as this stuff does. So you can kind of stay tuned with that. If I do get it down to like, you know, a nice coffee I really love, I will for sure share it because it really is so easy and it's so much cheaper to do at home. And then you can just remake it over and over in a jar, and then you never have to buy, you know, these plastic ones, which is nice. But when I drink this, I just put a little bit on ice, and then I just top it with half and half. That's it. I don't do anything crazy. I usually just have like a small cup because this is full caffeine. And for a while there, I was on straight up decaf coffee because that just worked for me and I liked it like that. But these days I've been wanting a little more caffeine, so I just do like a smaller cup because if I drink an entire glass or like an entire mug or whatever of iced coffee, I would be bouncing off the walls. So I just do a little bit. And then if I do want to sweeten it, I haven't been sweetening it recently. I just like it straight up with cream. But if I do sweeten it, I've shared this on Instagram, but I love doing, actually I shared this in videos too, but a little bit of maple syrup, just like a teeny little splash. It gives it a sweetness. And it's obviously a natural form of sweetness, which I love, but that's really good. And if you're just using a little bit, it doesn't really taste like syrup, it just adds sweetness. It's actually really good. Okay, you guys, here is my lunch. So I actually ended up cooking the egg a little longer than I really wanted it to be, but that's okay. Typically, I like it to be a little bit softer. That's pretty much hard-boiled, but that's okay. You win some, you lose some. So I've got my hard-boiled egg. I have about half an avocado with a little bit of the Trader Joe's everything seasoning because I just love that on avocados. A bunch of the roasted Brussels sprouts, and then there is some rice down there as well. So this is such an easy lunch. First off, so filling because it's full of fiber, fat, protein, and it's delicious. It's got a whole lot going on. But what I love about these kinds of bowls is you could literally eat these all the time and not get sick of them because you can constantly switch it up. You can change out the protein, you can change out the vegetable, you can change out the base, you could do quinoa instead, you could even do like roasted potatoes as the base, which would be so good. There's just a lot that you can play with, and you can make it So different every time. And I also, like I said, I cook up a bunch of each of the ingredients so that I'm good for the next few days, which saves me so much time moving forward. And then you can also play around with like different dressings or sauces just to make it taste totally different. So this is like such a good, easy lunch where you can plan it out every week. You can cook everything ahead of time and you can make it taste so different, but have something that's like healthy and whole food based and simple to throw together every day. Hello again, friends. So it's like late afternoon now and I'm about to make a smoothie. We love smoothies. We probably have, I make like one big smoothie that we all share several times a week. And I am pretty basic with my smoothie, but we really like it and it's really easy to throw together. So I'm gonna show you guys what I use. Okay, so I like using a bunch of mixed berries. They are super high in fiber, antioxidants, just very nutrient dense. And if you are a Costco person, I always get these at Costco. It's a giant bag of organic berries for, I don't remember the price exactly, but it's a really good deal because berries, especially organic berries, are not cheap. So I love getting, I always just stock up and I get like multiple of these big bags and then we're good for a little while. And then obviously I like to add some greens always. Spinach and kale are usually my go-tos. And then for a while there, I was just using like organic apple juice as the liquid, but recently I switched to doing coconut milk instead and I love it. I particularly like this brand. We've tried like a couple brands. I've never even heard of this. It's just at my local grocery store, but this is just the one that I like the best. I don't know, it just tastes the best, I think. But I just add a whole can of this and it makes the most creamy, delicious smoothies because this obviously, it's full fat coconut milk. So it adds just a lot of smoothness and creaminess and it's just delicious. Also makes it a little more filling too. Plus the fat helps to kind of offset all of the, you know, the sugar that breaks down from the carbs that you're enjoying in all the fruit, which it's great to eat fruit. I'm all for fruit, but smoothies can be a big, it's just kind of a big serving of carbohydrate usually, which can kind of spike your blood sugar, but obviously this has fiber too because it's fruit, so it's not as bad. I have a whole video explaining blood sugar if you don't like really understand what I'm talking about. That goes more in depth, but fat will help to kind of blunt that spike, which is always good. And I'm always trying to balance out, you know, whenever I am bringing carbohydrates, trying to balance it as much as I can. So it's just a good way to do that. So I'm gonna throw this together and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all mixed up. Okay, so this is what they look like, all blended up. They're so good, so creamy, and I'm obsessed with using coconut milk. All right, so I am about to get dinner started in just a minute here. We are gonna do chicken tacos for dinner tonight, so I'm gonna walk you through everything, but whenever I do tacos, we pretty much always do chicken. So I make salsa chicken, I saute up peppers and onions, and for toppings, we typically do like some chopped romaine, sour cream, cheese. That's typically what we do. And then for tortillas, I actually make them myself from scratch, which I started doing that like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. We never used to eat tacos because I don't know, we didn't really like them. And I'm telling you, it's because of the tortillas. So I used to buy the store-bought ones. And there are better ones out there, but for the most part, most of them have horrific ingredients, if I'm just being honest. I mean, it's literally a laundry list with tiny font this long. So many additives because they have to stay soft and pliable and have long shelf life. And if you've ever made tortillas from scratch, you know that in just a couple days, they're like no longer good. So it makes sense why there's so many ingredients, but they just do not taste very good. So we would just never have tacos, but ever since I started making them myself, they are delicious and mouth-watering, and we eat them every single week and we look forward to it. Tortillas really change the game. Now, is it more work to make tortillas versus just buying them? Of course it is. But honestly, making them is pretty straightforward. And once you do it a couple times, you've got it down and it's super easy. And just the taste alone is so freaking worth it. You're gonna like wow the socks off your family if you try this. So I want to encourage you guys to try it because it really is a pretty easy recipe. I actually use einkorn flour when I make mine. Einkorn is like a super ancient grain. It's the only grain that has yet to be like hybridized. So it's the only grain that is the exact same now as it was centuries ago when our ancestors were cultivating it and eating it. So that's what I use because it has, it doesn't bother my stomach. It has a much lower like gluten, it has just lower gluten in general, and I can eat it no problem. I can also eat sourdough no problem, but anything outside of that always bothers my stomach. So that's why for a while there I was like gluten-free, but I've learned that I can totally eat einkorn, sourdough, no problem. And I also actually do, I grind the flour myself. So I know this is getting like real in depth here, but I just got a flour mill recently. It's right back there. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do it. It's really easy. You totally do not need a flour mill. You can just get flour. You don't have to be that crazy. I want to do a whole video at some point talking about why, you know, the benefits of grinding it yourself and using it right then fresh, like the cost breakdown, the flour mill I use. I'm definitely thinking I would like to do a video on that in the future to go more in depth. But I want to say, if you want to make the einkorn tortillas, the flour I always used to buy before I got the flour mill is by Jovial Foods, and I really, really like that one. And einkorn has kind of like a nutty, it just like has a more, like a less subtle flavor, let's say, than regular flour. It's just really, really good, and I love it so much. So if you guys want to see like a whole recipe video on how I make my einkorn tortillas and like a blog post with the printable recipe and all of that, let me know in the comments, because I can do that, but I'm just gonna kind of breeze through it today. But it's literally just einkorn flour, butter, water, and salt. So easy. Okay, so I am starting off with making the einkorn flour because I like to make the dough for the tortillas first and let it set for a few minutes. And then I go on to like get the chicken cooking and chop up peppers and things like that. So all you do, these are what einkorn berries look like. And these basically just get grinded up to make flour. So you just put them in the top here, put on the lid, and then I'm just gonna turn this on. It's gonna make flour in about a minute, and it'll all be in here. Okay, so I just pulled it out. It literally took about 1 minute, and all of those berries turned into einkorn flour. So I'm just going to take out whatever I need for this recipe, and then whatever is left over, I will just put in this jar to be used shortly after. And I always like to have extra to use for like putting flour on the countertop. But yeah, it's literally so easy and totally fresh. All the nutrients are intact. Very cool. Okay, so I've got my tortilla dough chilling in here, covered up. And then over here, I am getting the chicken ready. So again, I'm using my Instant Pot. I freaking love this thing. I use it all the time. Twice in one day today. So I've got 3 chicken breasts in there. And then I just topped it with some garlic powder, and then of course, some salt and pepper. And then I just dumped a bunch of, almost this whole jar, it's about 3/4 full. And I just dumped this whole jar of salsa on here. So we're just gonna pop on the lid, and I cook it on high pressure for 12 minutes, and then I can just take it out and shred it, and then I throw all the shredded chicken back in with all the juices, and it is delicious. So this is all of the cooked salsa chicken. Looks so good. And then over here, we have our peppers and onions, cheese, some sour cream. And then in here we've got the nice and warm tortillas. So there's everything. We're gonna make up some tacos. Tortilla, yeah. And we'll be ready to go. All right guys, here are my tacos, our dinner. They look so good. The only thing I don't have is I thought I had some romaine lettuce to chop up, which I usually throw on here. I don't, I'm allowed. So we just skipped that, but we got chicken, peppers, a little bit of cheese, sour cream, einkorn tortillas, and they smell so good. Okay, you guys, it's been a little while since dinner. We got Hayden down for bed, and I'm about to have a couple of these. Okay, these are a Costco find. I don't know if I've talked about these on my channel before. Definitely have talked about them on Instagram. Holy crap, these are so good. They're kind of addicting. The ingredients are pretty good. I mean, they're basically just like slightly healthier cookies, but they are so good. They're organic as well, which I love. And I find these at Costco, and like one or two of those at night, it's just like the perfect little something sweet, you know, that's like really satisfying. So yeah, that is it from me, you guys. That is everything I'm eating today. Might have a little cup of tea later, but that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know down in the comments if you want to see how I make those einkorn tortillas. But that is all I got for this video. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram too if you're not already doing that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.